High School Golden Hurricanes. Here are your starting lineups for today's contest. Representing Farmington High School, a junior forward number 2, Jordan Anthony. A junior guard number 4, Christian Harris. A junior forward number 11, Nick Duncan. A senior guard number 12, Jacob Smith. And a senior forward number 15, Ricky Podgorski. Head coach is Jeff Daddio. His assistants are Sean Mongello and Tim O'Connor. Farmington is 6-4. For your Golden Hurricanes, a senior guard number 1, Jaden Andujar. A junior guard number 4, Xavier Good. A sophomore forward number 5, Juan Desiderio. A senior forward number 21, Tyler Nolan. And a sophomore center number 55, Dante Bishop. Head coach is Kurt Reese. His assistants are Mike James, Darwin Shaw, Michael Lanzeas, and Eric Bird. The Golden Hurricanes are 6-5. Ladies and gentlemen, would you now rise? Please rise and remove your hats as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem. Thank you. I call your attention to the spectator expectation sign beneath the American flag. Please abide by the 5 rules.
Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome inside New Britain High School at the Chick-Shea Gymnasium for the regular season finale in boys basketball, with New Britain High School hosting Farmington High School on a Saturday in March. The madness begins. It's begun at the college level, and pretty soon it'll begin at the high school level in this very strange sports season for everybody. With Ryan Lipinski, who is our graduating class of 2021 student broadcaster. I'm Randy Brochu, and we're glad to be with you for Farmington and New Britain today, with the Golden Hurricanes coming in with a record of 5-5. Farmington sitting at 6-4. Farmington, Ryan, beat New Britain earlier this season, but a chance today for New Britain to get a little revenge, tie them in the standings, and maybe give themselves the best chance possible to host a postseason game next week here at Chick-Shea Gymnasium.
Definitely, and it's going to be a little more difficult this go around. One of their main starters, Justice Carter's out, and one of their juniors, first guy off the bench, Tyrone Cummings, is also out. So it'll be a bit of an uphill battle for New Britain, but I think they could get it done.
We are just about set for the opening tip here this afternoon, and again, as Ryan alludes to, New Britain a little bit behind the 8 ball with Justice Carter out. Farmington wins the opening tip. Jordan Anthony, the junior forward, beats Dante Bishop, the sophomore center, and we are underway here on Mill Street. A beautiful Saturday afternoon outside, but we're indoors today, masked up, finishing the regular season in high school basketball between New Britain and Farmington, with a postseason to come next week. Jacob Smith, one of the leading scorers for Farmington, loses the basketball. Xavier Good who has earned a starting position at the point guard, reaching in, disrupting things. And New Britain is in possession with Good running the point. Off to the wing. Jaden Andujar for New Britain. Takes the jump shot and misses. The ball's on the floor. Xavier Good. The offensive rebound and the dump down underneath for the lay-in by Tyler Nolan. And the first points of the game to New Britain High School.
And if they're going to want to come out with a win tonight, they're going to have to start out strong. A couple of times with them losing, they've been starting off a little slow. So a great start thus far.
Another steal by New Britain. This one by Andujar. And New Britain sets up their half-court offense for Coach Kurt Reese. Good in the corner. Around the screen set by Bishop. And he swings it. New Britain on the dribble drive. Andujar nowhere to go, behind the back. Beautiful move, step back, and he's going to earn a trip to the line. A little behind the back move to protect the basketball and pick up the contact.
2 quick fouls for Farmington. We're not even 2 minutes into the game.
Number 1, Jaden Andujar, shooting 2.
Jaden Andujar on the line for New Britain. He misses the first free throw. And he leaves a couple freebies on the line. If this one's a tight one, you always go back to the free throws. Opportunities missed early on can always come back to haunt you.
Definitely, we saw that a few weeks ago in one of their close games that they had. A couple of missed free throws were the difference between them winning or losing that game.
Dante Bishop on the block on Nick Duncan, who looked like he was alone inside. New Britain with the ball movement. There's Bishop underneath after the block shot on the jumper taken by Tyler Nolan. He cleans up the offensive glass, and Tyler Nolan doing it on both ends of the floor.
That's 2 quick offensive rebounds for Tyler Nolan, resulting in some quick, easy baskets.
Jordan Anthony maintained the possession for Farmington, falling out of bounds on the baseline and flipping it outside for Jacob Smith. Christian Harris, jab stepping good. Looked like he might have gotten away with a travel there. The kick out for a straight-on 3, off the mark. That was Ricky Podgorski who took the shot and missed. Air ball here for New Britain. Jaden Andujar taking the jumper in traffic. And we're going to have a quick sub in here for New Britain. Jackson Forte in for the Golden Hurricanes.
And we were just talking about with two of their couple of important players out, Coach Reese is going to have to go deep into their bench a little bit. So a couple of guys that might not play as much might get a little more important roles.
Demir Kandick is into the game for New Britain. Their big presence off the bench. An unforced error here as New Britain turns it over. Forte right into the game, dropped the pass, out of bounds. 4-0 New Britain, but Farmington with the basketball. Farmington still scoreless. That layup attempt no good, and New Britain comes away with it. Forte, the rebound, looking to go coast to coast. He misses. Kandick grabbing the offensive board and picks up contact. Demir Kandick is on the line for 2.
Number 2,
Jordan Anthony commits the foul for Farmington.
At the line for the Hurricanes, number 42, Demir Kandick, shooting 2. Now in the game for Farmington, number 14, Nico Agostino.
Nico Agostino checking in for Farmington. New Britain now 0 for 3 from the free throw line. There's the first made free throw of the game for the Golden Hurricanes, and it's now 5-0 New Britain. Andujar back in for New Britain as Xavier Good comes to the bench.
New Britain coming out in a full court press early on.
The left-hand layup on the reverse is good for Jordan Anthony. Nice move underneath. Farmington's on the board with 4:18 and counting to go here in the first. 5-2 New Britain. The Hurricanes running their half-court piece. Juan Desiderio running point here for the Golden Hurricanes. Tyler Nolan gives it to Jaden Andujar, and the Hurricanes will reset. Andujar with the dish. Desiderio turns it over. Farmington looking to run. Jacob Smith picks up the dribble. Nick Duncan up and under, draws a foul.
New Britain foul number 21, Tyler Nolan.
3:43 to go here in the first. Tyler Nolan picks up his first personal, and we've got our first mask break. Again, it still always strikes me saying that phrase that's become part of our lexicon here in high school sports. Mask break, we'll take a break as well with 3:43 to go in the first. 5-2 New Britain in the regular season finale. After the mask break, Nick Duncan misses the free throw. And Ryan, I always wonder if guys maybe lose a little bit of concentration when a timeout is called, or in this instance, a mask break disrupts going to the line. Basketball so much about rhythm. Things are looking better all the way around, including a little treat just came our way. Of course, it's a Lenny Cordo production, as all games here at Chick Shea Gymnasium are. He's brought us donuts, Ryan. Are you hungry?
I already got one. I got
you got one
from him. Yeah.
What'd you go? Where are these from?
That's a great question. I think they're from I think it's a place called Jerry's. Of course, Coach Jerry loved that. So.
Usually Coach Jerry Berthium, who does the public address here, he treats us to Ritz crackers on baseball game days. Jerry's Donuts, a little bit better here on basketball day. Thanks, Coach Cordo. 5-4, New Britain now leads as Farmington has cut it to a 1-point game. Bounce pass underneath as New Britain runs the screen and roll, but lost out of bounds on the baseline by Desiderio, and Farmington is back in possession.
And you see that a couple times with young players come up to play varsity. We've seen in the past couple of weeks, Coach Reed's given some different players some different looks, and oftentimes, especially if you're a freshman or a sophomore and it's your first time starting varsity, you could be a little nervous, and maybe that's getting shown thus far in this game.
New Britain forces the turnover. They look to run the floor. Kick out Xavier Good. Back in the game for the Golden Hurricanes. They feed Kandick in the paint. The swing out. And Andujar will slow it down. Got to value the basketball here after a couple of turnovers. Xavier Good, corner three. It goes back rim. He had a good look. 2.5 to go in the first. And a foul is whistled underneath on Jaden Andujar. Ryan, New Britain with wins this year. The thrilling overtime win against Southington on opening night. Then Lewis Mills, a victory against Bristol Eastern here at New Britain High, and away at Plainville and at Avon. But New Britain looking to rebound off consecutive losses to Lewis Mills last time out here on Wednesday, and Bristol Central before that. Losses on their record twice to Bristol Central, along with the same Farmington team. 47-39 back on the 19th of February. That was their first loss of the year. Farmington will call it timeout, and we'll break as well for a quick donut. 30-second donut break. 5-4 New Britain. Well, seeding implications on the line here today. A win for New Britain could mean that New Britain plays Simsbury. They also could play Farmington again. This same Farmington team could be their matchup in the postseason next week. We'll know tonight when the brackets will be finalized after all the out-of-town scores.
Yeah, and we just got word a couple minutes ago that the girls have a home game coming up this Tuesday for their first playoff game.
Excellent.
So the boys are still waiting to see if they can have a home game or if they're going to have to go maybe an hour away somewhere deep in Connecticut.
Well, one of the cool things about that, and if you were with us on the broadcast last time, is Farmington works it inside for a left-hand lay-in and go-ahead basket. Nick Augustino laying it in. 6-5, Farmington, their first lead. It'll give the girls basketball team, and as well as the boys basketball team, if they should get a home game, a chance for the seniors in this very difficult year to maybe win their last home game. Move on, most likely, to an away site, although, again, who knows how things shake out. You always get yourself in a little bit of trouble in March when you try to predict anything, because this is the month, especially in this sport, where anything can really happen in a year like this in particular.
Yeah, if anybody's been keeping up with college basketball March Madness, the over 2 million brackets are already busted in the first 24 hours.
How about Oral Roberts?
I've never heard of that team in my life before last night.
Oral Roberts isn't on your list of colleges to look at as a graduating senior?
It is not. I'm only looking at relevant colleges.
Well, they certainly proved their relevance yesterday.
You're definitely right.
And that's what March can do for a college. It can put you a little bit more on the map. They were a 15 seed.
They were. I'll tell you what, I didn't even know there was a North Texas up until yesterday when they came out and beat Purdue. So
yes, the Big Green, is that who they are?
Yeah, Mean Green, I think
The Mean Green, that's right. 1:50 to go here in the first. 6-5 Farmington. Another timeout for New Britain. We pause briefly as well. Farmington leads New Britain. It's a beautiful March Saturday afternoon, late in March, when the most important basketball games of the year are played, and this one's an important one for New Britain, looking to get a home game, but they turn the basketball over, and Farmington on the fast break takes a three-point lead on the layup after the steal by Jacob Smith. 8-5 Farmington. Another great thing about this time of year, as Farmington goes for the steal and gets it, the spring sports are right around the corner, and today's a big day. This layup attempt no good, and then Demir Kandik commits the foul on a beautiful day when pitchers and catchers can report for spring sports. And we'll turn our attention to the outdoor spring sports, and right around the corner. It's such an exciting time of year, especially, I think, more than ever, with kind of some light at the end of the tunnel in this very difficult year. The students getting set to come back to New Britain, which is great. I know you're excited about to get back into the halls here at New Britain High School, see your teachers and classmates in a little bit more normal of a setting, although masks and distancing and washing your hands still be so important, but exciting days ahead.
I'm still deciding if I'm going to go into school or not. That's still something I'm going to talk about with my parents and to see if me and my brother are going to go in. But that's something we're definitely considering just for the social aspect of it. Just me to get out of the house. It's sitting in the house 7 days a week for most of the week is it's really annoying, to be honest.
Count the basket and the foul for Jaden Andujar, who drives. A little kiss off the window for 2 and 1. And with 53.7 seconds to go in the first, he has a chance to make it a one-point game. Good take there by Andujar.
It was, and he is still yet to make a free throw. 0 for 3 on free throws, 1 for 5 as a team thus far.
And it's a 2-point lead for Farmington, so the free throws are coming back to hurt New Britain down by 2. with 40 seconds to go in the first.
Both teams struggling from the line. New Britain 1 for 5, Farmington 1 for 4.
Chad Rizzo takes a three. He misses. He's a baseball player for Farmington High.
Of course you would know that.
I did my homework. Good take once again by Jaden Andujar, and he uses the glass again for the lay-in to tie the game at 9. 13 seconds to go, first quarter. Andujar from behind forces the turnover. It ends up in the hands of Nolan. 7 seconds, a chance for New Britain to take the lead here at the end of the first. Tyler Nolan along the baseline, rejected. Big-time swat by Nick Augustino. And a hard-fought first quarter comes to an end with New Britain and Farmington tied at 9. And this one's got a sense of March basketball at its best, Ryan.
It does, and of course you always love to watch college basketball going online, but what better than a high school game with a little under 100 people watching today?
That's right, and several more, of course, out there, presumably, on social media, on the CSDMB social media platforms.
Let's not forget the 7 fatheads we have in the stands today.
We couldn't possibly forget David Ortiz and Coach Jerry, and I'm not sure who else. There's even a puppy dog.
There's Coach Mercado's dog made in attendance today.
Oh, Griffey. Griffey
Yes.
is in the – that's great. Is that Miss Barneski? Well, either way, we're glad you're with us today wherever you are. 9-9, we got a good one through one quarter. Farmington basketball to begin the second quarter, and a chance for Farmington for a three-point play. Jacob Smith slipping inside for 2 and 1. 11-9 Farmington, a chance to make it a three-point lead.
And at the line for Farmington will be Jacob Smith.
It's already back a couple of lead changes in these last 2 minutes for both teams. Good back and forth games going from the first quarter going into the second quarter.
And back on the court for the Hurricanes.
Jacob Smith hits the free throw for an old-fashioned three-point play. After an old-fashioned donut from Jerry's Donuts.
Speaking of old-fashioned, we haven't seen a three-point make from both teams yet.
Well, they get the ball inside to Demir Kandik, and he holds the basketball over his head. Tallest guy on the floor, easy lay-in. Figure if they can get the ball to him in that spot and the ball with that kind of height, he's going to be tough to stop.
He is. We saw that in their last game. He had 12 first half points. Excuse me. That was a big impact for them in the first half.
Jared Young on the wing rips the three, and Farmington has a 4-point lead. Their largest lead of the game with 7 minutes to go in the second quarter. New Britain working perimeter, then back inside. Kandik, triple teamed, protects the basketball and puts it up. He has a chance for 2 free throws now, so they triple down on him, but good luck when he's got the ball over his head, taking the rock away from Demir Kandik.
Sometimes what you have to do with a player with that size is like a kid, like an adult trying to keep a kid away from candy. Just put the ball above your head so they can't reach it.
I wish someone would do that to these Jerry's Donuts for me. Which isn't too difficult to get it above my head, Ryan.
You're not the smallest person.
Standing 5'7".
I have teammates that are smaller.
Kandik misses. Maybe small in stature, but big at heart, Ryan.
That's all that matters.
Jordan Anthony forcing the pass as he tried to skip it to Nick Duncan and throws it out of bounds. Back to New Britain High School, down by 3 with 6:38 to go in the second.
And now in the game, number 5 for New Britain, Juan Desiderio.
So one possession game with 6.5 to go in the first. New Britain is yet to hit a 3. That would tie it here. And there's Xavier Good, who can knock it down from outside.
Arguably their best three-point shooter that has been the best three-point shooter so far this year.
Hey, you got a three-point shooter with the last name Good? That's a good sign.
A little fact about him, I've seen him play sport. I've seen him play almost every single sport. There is no sport that he is not good at.
Juan Desiderio missed the corner 3. Yeah, Xavier Good, obviously, is a teammate of yours in baseball, as we've referenced a few times on these broadcasts this year. An excellent golfer and an excellent bowler.
Yeah, I've seen him have scores I've never even dreamed of having in bowling. He'll go from having say a 150 in bowling to go shoot under par in a golf match, and then he'll go steal 3 bases on a baseball field, and then he'll go hit a three-pointer.
He made a couple of the most fun plays I've seen at second base this past fall. Remember that barehanded play he made in Hartford?
I do.
Game we won. Drive along the left of the baseline. Good for Jacob Smith. Farmington reestablishes a 2-possession lead.
He might be the most versatile player in sports that I've ever had the opportunity of playing with.
Great hustle play by Jaden Andujar, who got back. Looked like Nick Duncan on the fast break was going to have an easy lay-in, and Duncan was the last to touch it. Andujar avoids the foul and gets the rock back to New Britain.
And that's the second time he's had an impact play on the defensive end. First time coming towards the end of the first quarter, getting back after a bucket to get a quick steal for New Britain.
Jackson Forte back in for the Golden Hurricanes to look for some solid minutes from him off the bench. They double team Good. Did he step out of bounds? Good says he stayed in. That's a good job by Farmington on the trap to use the sideline as essentially the third defender. And they turn it over. The inbounds comes to Jacob Smith. His runner wouldn't go. Offensive rebound, Jordan Anthony. And the kick out for Christian Harris. New Britain looking to D up here. Farmington with a chance to take a 3-possession lead with 5 minutes to go in the first half. The 3 is good for Jacob Smith, contested, and he steps back to make it an 8-point lead. Kurt Reese calls timeout on the New Britain sideline. 4:54 to go in the first half. Farmington's going on a run. They have their largest lead of the game. It's 20-12, Farmington over New Britain. Your hands are good.
Yeah, it's just some other stuff that I have to work on.
Kandick underneath. Ryan and I are just working on a little bit of baseball right now in this breakout.
When aren't we working on baseball?
Always getting better. There's a drive. Nick Duncan right down the middle. What's the main drag in Farmington? I always, in New Britain, I say he goes right down Corbin Ave, which is, I think, the largest street. You could say Stanley Street. I think with Bristol, we said the Boulevard. Farmington, what would be the Route 4?
If you want to ask that, you got to ask my grandfather. I don't know routes around the state like he does. I barely know how to get around New Britain.
We'll say he went right down Route 4 to pick up the foul and earn free throws. Tyler Churma checks in for the first time for New Britain. And here's a chance to make it a 10-point lead for Farmington. Missed the free throw, but New Britain has the rebound. They need a basket here. Desiderio, the defensive board. Farmington swarming. Churma with a basketball. Another multi-sport athlete. Plays on the baseball team with you, Ryan. In the paint, the jump shot is no good by Tyler Nolan. He's fouled by Christian Harris, and free throws coming here
At the line for the Hurricanes.
for Tyler Nolan.
Tyler Nolan shooting 2.
That'll break up a little run here by Farmington with Tyler Nolan sinking the first free throw. He goes 1 for 2.
For Farmington, number 21, Jared Young. For the Hurricanes, number 1, Jaden Andula.
Farmington working the ball along the baseline. A travel here, well defended by New Britain, and Jacob Smith turns it over.
6 turnovers apiece for both teams. 4 minutes left to go in the second, so a bit of a sloppy game up to this point.
Demir Kandick going for the offensive rebound after the miss by Nolan. Ball's on the floor, and Farmington's able to maintain. Jordan Anthony with the lead bounce pass into the front court for Podgorski. Back to New Britain as he loses the basketball and his footing. We've got a mass break with 3:38 to go in the second. Farmington with a 21-13 lead over New Britain here in the second quarter. Farmington leading New Britain 21-13. Farmington with wins this year over Lewis Mills. Of course, New Britain, as we referenced, they also beat Southington. They actually beat Lewis Mills twice, and then in that border battle, a win against Avon 2 games ago. They are 6-4. This is batted around. New Britain turns it over, and a fast break layup good for Jared Young. Farmington turning that defense in a quick offense. Sherma in trouble. They double team him. He sneaks through the double team and kicks it to Good. And Xavier Good back to Cherma. The buddies working inside. Tyler Nolan. And they call the basket off. It's an offensive foul called on Tyler Nolan.
Coach Reed's going with a bit of an underclassmen lineup. Only one senior out there so far, and all other sophomores and juniors. So trying to maybe get some of his players a little more experience to come back next year.
Well, they're going to need depth, too, into the postseason. There's a bad throw-in, and New Britain has it on the turnover. Nolan driving, and this time they call the defensive foul against Farmington. That time, Jacob Smith tried to set his feet,
Farmington foul number 12.
but they foul him. They call the foul on Smith. And free throws coming here for Tyler Nolan, stopping the clock with 2:50 to go in the second.
New Britain hasn't been able to buy a field goal in this second quarter. Only 1 field goal so far and 2 free throws. So only 4 points accumulated in this second quarter for New Britain.
Farmington 6-4, enjoyed a 4-game winning streak this year. Consecutive wins over Lewis Mills, New Britain, Plainville, and Southington. That was after an 0-2 start when they lost to both Bristol Eastern and Avon in that border battle. So Avon and Farmington with wins against their rivals on their own home floors. Avon with a win at Avon High School, Farmington with a home victory over Avon. 23-15 now our score. Coming up on 2.5 to go in the first half. Jacob Smith keeps the basketball. Little mismatch here against Andujar, height-wise. Now he drives, and we've got an offensive foul whistled against Farmington. Kajon Carabillo in the game, but the foul is called actually against Jacob Smith on a little push-off. Trying to get around that Carabello screen. They get the ball inside to Nolan, catch and shoot. He sinks the jump shot, and New Britain has made it a 5-point game. If they count the basket, which I believe they should. The whistle came when he was in the act of shooting. And
I think they're determining what the whistle is on.
well, the points haven't gone on the board. What happened here? Farmington seems to be in disagreement about something. Their head coach, Dwayne Witter, having a conversation with the official. Was there a bad substitution, maybe?
I don't know. I wish we had a replay so we could go back to see what happened.
Well, 17 goes on the board for New Britain. So they do count the basket. Both teams with 7 fouls. It's a 5-point game on the Nolan jump shot. New Britain going full court press here. Jacob Shadler going across the court to Nick Duncan. Farmington breaks it. Up to Jordan Anthony. The swing to Duncan. 2 minutes to go, second quarter. Farmington by 5. Duncan sets the screen. The fall away jump shot, no good for Jared Young. New Britain with a defensive rebound. Xavier Good pushing the floor. Up to Andujar. Good, one quick pass to Nolan. And they whistle Nolan for the travel. He began his drive without dribbling first.
First offensive foul a few possessions ago. Now a travel for Tyler Nolan, so a couple of impact plays towards the end of the second quarter.
Chad Rizzo off the bench for Farmington. Good picks him up. Now the drive. Well defended underneath by New Britain, but they don't get the basketball, and it ends up back with Farmington. New Britain did everything right there, but Young has the ball come to him, and he banks it home.
They did everything right, just except secured the basketball. So, as you alluded to, everything went well for them on that play. They just couldn't secure the possession.
Xavier Good, open for 3. He misses the corner 3. New Britain still over from downtown, but Good fighting hard for that basketball. Farmington able to protect it and move it up the floor. Shaler rejected. It comes back to Kajon Carabillo, who banks it home with 46 seconds to go in the second. Farmington back on top by 10. Underneath to Nolan, and New Britain cuts it to 8. Great fast break basket there for New Britain. 37 seconds to go, 27-19 Farmington as we close out the first half.
New Britain feeds on those fast break opportunities, gets a quick stop, and they love to run in transition.
Carabillo the swing out, Rizzo travels, and this gives New Britain the possession with 23 seconds to go in the second, and a chance perhaps, if they so choose, to save for the final shot of the first half.
And you'd expect coach to suggest that. They don't want to give Farmington another possession, possibly make it a double-digit deficit.
Around the screen, Andujar with 10 seconds. Rizzo picks him up on a switch. Andujar with 6 seconds. One more dish to the outside, Shadler. And a foul is Juan Desiderio with 1.1 seconds on the clock. Hangs and picks up contact. A chance for New Britain to get some points here. And the final 1.1 of the second quarter. Another missed free throw for New Britain.
They did a good job of getting to the free throw line, just haven't been able to capitalize. 4 for 11 in this first half.
Desiderio misses again, but the offensive rebound picked up by Jaden Andujar. He got the shot off. It would have counted, but it doesn't go. And New Britain leaves more free throws off the scoreboard. We go to halftime with Farmington up 27-19 over New Britain. We'll break and be back in about 7 minutes with the second half of the regular season finale from Chick-Shea Gymnasium. We begin the second half with Farmington up 27-19, and New Britain driving to the lane with Tyler Nolan, unable to put it home. Farmington, the defensive rebound, up by 8. Randy Brochu alongside our graduating class of 2021 student broadcaster Ryan Lipinski. Glad to be with you today for the regular season finale for Farmington and New Britain. As Jacob Smith, little baby J in the paint, makes it a 10-point lead for Farmington. They go for the steal. New Britain keeps it alive. Nolan, the Euro, into traffic. He's double-teamed and blocked, but the ball rolls over to Desiderio. His shot wouldn't go, and it is saved along the baseline on the defensive rebound. Farmington looking to move it up the floor on the fast break. Pull-up is no good on the transition basket attempt for Jacob Shadler. New Britain now quickly into the front court.
Farmington came out firing in that first half, 52% from the field. New Britain only 36% from the field.
Anytime you're up over 50%, giving yourself the best chance, especially leaving those freebies on the line. Actually, both sides. Xavier Good, a 3. It's good for Xavier Good. Been waiting to say that one. X for 3, good. 7-point lead. That was a big basket by X.
New Britain's first 3-point make of the game.
Jordan Anthony moves it to a wide open man in the corner. Their leading scorer, Nick Duncan, missed it. Farmington keeping it alive. A great hustle play by the man in the corner. The 3 is an air ball, but it ends up like a pass. Jacob Smith off the miss by Ricky Podgorski, but Podgorski really kept it alive with a hustle play. New Britain trying to force that ball inside to Nolan, poked away by Farmington. On the Golden Hurricanes bring in Kandick, who replaces Nolan. Never seen the two big men on the floor at the same time. Wonder what that look would look like for New Britain, going real big.
Yeah, I mean, we've already seen the impact that one big man has on the floor, and like you're saying, I couldn't imagine what the impact have if there would be two big men on the floor.
Xavier Good from behind picks the pocket of Jacob Smith to get the possession back to New Britain. Another good hustle play from X.
Making plays on the offensive and defensive end in this second half.
Andujar rolling over to the right. Forte off the bench for New Britain. 5.5 to go in the third. Down by 9. The floater in the paint is good for Jaden Andujar. It's a 7-point game.
I gotta ask, did you take me up on my offer for those player interviews come playoff time?
Oh yeah, let's talk to Coach Cordo about that. Uh-oh, X loses it. The spin move and layup is good by Duncan, who takes it away. The officials stop things there for a moment. You want to do the interview?
Doesn't matter to me. I just came up with a suggestion.
I think it's a good idea. If New Britain wins, we'll talk to Coach Piper about it too.
What can we do? We can't do the other team? Give the other team some love?
Nolan off the glass. Count the basket and the foul. And Tyler Nolan goes to the line with a chance to make it a 2-possession game.
We're not allowed to do other teams. We can only do.
I don't see why we can't. I suppose we could. We'd have to set it up beforehand, but
we got the microphone right here.
You got the microphone right there.
Make it work.
It'd be easy to do. Another missed free throw for New Britain.
Just an idea.
What's the free throw shooting now?
4 for 13 up to this point.
It's a 7-point game. New Britain has missed 9 free throws. They're going to call goaltending on Kandick, who got back just a hair too late.
Yeah, I think that was a good call. New Britain didn't seem too happy about that one, but the ball looked like it was on its way down once he put a hand on it.
35-26 now, Farmington with the lead. Kandick inside, looks to tie it up, jump ball.
Possession to Farmington.
And the arrow is Farmington's. 4 minutes to go in the third. Farmington up by 9. And they work the ball inside. Jacob Smith had it poked. Going for the steal, Andujar, but it stays with Farmington. The runner, no good for Duncan. He did a nice job protecting the basketball up against the double team and drawing contact. 3 fouls now on Tyler Nolan.
Yeah, he might have to watch it in this third quarter. Can't commit no more than 2 or else he'll have to be taken out for a good portion of the second half.
Nick Duncan on the line now, opening up an 11-point lead here for Farmington, their largest of the game. He misses, but an offensive rebound. The layup attempt by Augustino rejected, blocked by Kandick. But it still stays with Farmington. And that time, Christian Harris gets on the board, knocking down the jump shot, 39-26. Farmington opening up a 13-point lead. And the mask break comes at a good time for New Britain as Farmington's gone on a run to take their largest lead of the game with 3:41 to go in the third. (39-26), Farmington over New Britain, 3:30 to go in the third. Tyler Cherma back in the game. They double team him, and it ends up rolling to Good, who steps back for 3. Front iron. New Britain really could have used that one. Farmington up the floor on the home run pass. The pull up in the paint, good. For Jacob Smith, it's now a 15-point lead for Farmington. 60-second timeout. 41-26, Farmington over New Britain. (41-26), Farmington with a lead over New Britain. 3:14 to go. There will be more basketball in the postseason for the girls team. New Britain grabs the basketball as it ends up in the hands of Kandick, and a foul is called. But New Britain High will host the Ram Raiders, is that?
Ram Raptors.
Ram Raptors. And a cool little storyline in that one, and a chance for us to congratulate 2 great guys from both schools. Our very own Len Cordo, the athletic director. Before that, the football coach here at New Britain High. The 3 is no good for Jaden Andujar, as well as the former Ram athletic director and the longtime cross-country and track and field coach Mark Logan, both going into the National High School Association Coaches Hall of Fame. 2 great guys who always did it right. Coach Cordo's been at it for 49 years.
Wow.
I know that Matt Canada threw that story we put up on Coach Cordo, a feature, and Jacob Smith knocks down the three. 44-26, but big time congratulations to both of those guys. Had the pleasure of writing a story for the Connecticut High School Coaches Association magazine featuring two great guys who always did it right, beloved in their towns and in their school communities.
Yeah, in the 4 years I've been in the baseball program, I've had nothing but nice things come from Coach Cordo when it's come to letting us onto the field, getting us to our practices early, getting us to our games early. So nothing but respect for Coach Cordo, and well-deserved.
Tyler Nolan knocks down the jump shot. Xavier Good right back to Nolan. New Britain on the fast break. He misses. Offensive rebound, Good. New Britain keeps the possession inside. The little bank shot is good for Demir Kandik. And New Britain cuts it to a 14-point game, and the basketball is coming back to New Britain. Another turnover there. A little bit of energy here from the Golden Hurricanes at the end of the third.
Yeah, they're going to need it. Need to make a little run this last minute, 47 remaining.
We get another break with 1:47 left here in the third on a timeout called by Farmington. Dwayne Witter, the head coach, saying, let's settle it down, boys. We're playing with a lead here by 14. And he calls the timeout. We'll be right back. (44-30). Farmington leads New Britain on a Saturday afternoon in March, the regular season finale. Postseason basketball coming up. In a much different looking postseason this year. No run to the sun this year.
Is that legal what Coach Reese just did?
Now New Britain going for the steal as Juan Desiderio goes for the steal. They tie it up and call it a jump ball. Not legal in baseball to assist the runner coming around third as the third base coach.
I don't know if that's legal in basketball either, but hey, what are you going to do?
1:21 to go in the third.
Possession does go to New Britain. Now on the court for Farmington.
And Uhar inbounding. Big possession here for New Britain if they want to keep it alive. Xavier Good steps back for three. No good. And the defensive rebound, Farmington looking to push it down the floor. Rizzo misses. The tip also wouldn't go that time for Agostino. New Britain running the floor. Andujar the floater in transition, no good. Defensive rebound this time from Jacob Smith. Ahead to Duncan. And he's dunking all right. Throwing down the slam with 51 seconds to go in the third. Up 16. New Britain turns it over. That's what a dunk could do for you. Kind of shell shocks the other side. And now Jared Young in transition. Lays it up. No basket. He's going to be whistled for the offensive foul.
That was a good job by New Britain taking that charge. Gets them the possession back with 37 seconds left.
Down 16. You can see New Britain really missing Justice Carter.
And the junior Tyrone Cummings too. So the sixth man off the bench for New Britain.
And you hate to see it for Justice, who's a senior, and obviously things have been so difficult on everybody. You really feel for a senior to be out injured in the last games of his career.
One of the bright sides about him is hopefully he'll be able to get back for the playoffs. So this won't be his last game.
Great attempt to save it by Anthony, but he saved it to New Britain. 13.2 to go in the third. Yes, obviously, we're all hoping he's back out there next week. Augustino commits his fourth. That stops the clock with 13.2 to go in the third. You know, this is the regular season finale, but you go back to opening night. Remember that game against Southington?
Oh, yeah.
That free throw is good when New Britain had a similar lead pretty deep also into the fourth quarter, and Southington forced overtime. So New Britain hoping that they'll take one away from Farmington here in the fourth quarter because it's a big deficit. 13.2 to go in the third. It's 1 for 2 from the free throw line. And it's Farmington basketball with 12 seconds left in the third. Farmington works it in. Great cross-court pass to Jared Young. 8 seconds to go in the quarter. And we got to travel here against Farmington. Jordan Anthony looking to drive baseline. 6 seconds to go in the third. New Britain down 15. They get the basketball for one last attempt. Andujar, 3 seconds. Andujar pulls up, off the mark. And it's a 15-point lead for Farmington as we hit the fourth quarter. 46-31, Farmington over New Britain. Back with the final 8 minutes of regulation after this. .31, Farmington over New Britain with 8 minutes to go in regulation. It is that time of year when we can't get enough basketball. And Ryan's on the phone, keeping up with his bracket. What do you got going on in the NCAA tournament, Ryan?
Well, I don't got a bracket because I would have been busted by now. But I'm just keeping up with the game so far. Colorado blew out Georgetown 96-73. LSU was up against St. Bonaventure 29-18 in the first quarter. Eastern Washington currently being number 3 Kansas 46-38.5, and Florida State being 13th seed UNC Greensboro 41-49 in the second.
Of course, tonight UConn plays. Looking forward to the Terps and the Huskies a little after 7 o'clock. UConn and Maryland. They have a great little bit of history in the NCAA tournament.
I think UConn has a chance if their star James Bouknight can do what Kemba Walker did a couple years ago, make that Cinderella run. They can definitely make something happen.
I don't know if anybody will ever do what Kemba Walker did, though. Boy, that was one of the great runs of an individual player I think we've ever seen in the NCAA tournament. 7 minutes to go in the fourth. A 15-point lead for Farmington. The three, no good. That was the lefty Jared Young behind the screen. New Britain driving baseline. Nolan had the offensive rebound, but then he loses it. Farmington on the fast break off the window. The pass from Jared Young to Christian Harris for the lay-in. They had the numbers. They took advantage, and it's up to a 17-point lead for Farmington. Coach Reese calls a timeout. We can keep it here, Ryan, I suppose. Yeah, this is a good chance during a timeout. Many thanks. We look behind. We got Mr. Bugnacki. I want to say thanks to Steve Bugnacki, who, working in the MIS department, has really been a lot of the brains behind putting this all together and the technology of it all. And Bobby Smedley, Matt Kanata, Lisa Kwecky, and, of course, Coach Cordo. So we kind of had to rally together, right, to make these streams happen with fans not unable to come in this year. You've done a great job. Didn't know you wanted to be a broadcaster. Probably something we should have talked about, you know, like in passing at baseball when I was coaching you. But
and I just wanted to, like, actually thank you, because if it wasn't for you doing this, I wouldn't have even considered doing it. When I was first watching that Southington game, and I kind of thought about it, and I was like, maybe it's a good chance for me to get my feet wet. So I just wanted to thank you for letting me do this. It's been a lot of fun.
Well, you're doing a great job, man. You've got it. You definitely have got the announcer's niche. And I'll tell you, I went to New Britain High, graduated in 1999. I would have loved if we had this opportunity as a student. So good for you for taking advantage of a great opportunity to pursue a career that you want to pursue. I think you could be very successful in this. And I know there's a lot of other talent around New Britain High School. Next year, as we begin these streams and really make it a part of a club or even maybe part of curriculum, hopefully down the road, but there's a lot of people that support it. And it's a great chance for students like you with an interest in broadcasting to get your feet wet, learn the mechanics of a live production, and put out a great product. Many thanks to Mr. Jeff Prokop as well for what he's done to kind of help get the score bug out there and make things look so professional. And, of course, to Jarrell and Coach Peterson also, yes. Mike Peterson, who have been part of the broadcasts, and we're glad we could do it to bring New Britain High basketball and as well as the opponents' games to the folks from all the communities around our high school basketball here in Connecticut. Good three-point play for Christian Harris, who knocks it down. It's a 20-point lead for Farmington. This one has gotten out of hand, and Farmington looking really good going into the postseason.
Definitely, and we were talking about it. We were talking about it one of the last games, that these next two games could be big for New Britain seeding if they want a home game, and back-to-back losses isn't really what they had in mind for a home game. It's going to be really hard for them to get a home game at this point.
How is Mr. Bugnacki doing back there? You're doing double duty here today, getting doing the score bug and. What? Say that again?
It's March Madness.
He's stepping up his game. That's right. It is March Madness. Oh, we should say Drew Mal's, too, who's not with us today, but Drew's been a big part of these productions, too. He's a senior at CCSU, getting some experience in live broadcasting. Whoops. Sherma looking to save it, trying to bank it off the defender, but it goes back to Farmington, and Nick Duncan has the steal credited to him. 5.5 to go in the fourth. A 20-point lead for Farmington. Make it 22 on the drive by Jacob Smith.
Jacob Smith leading all scorers with 24 points in this game.
Wow. Tyler Nolan misses the floater in the paint. Farmington, for putting up 53 points offensively, obviously you say, well, they've done a great job on the fast break. They're hitting their shots. They were up over 50% from the floor in the first half. The floater, a little contact by Jacob Smith doesn't go. They've also done a great job defensively. Sherma loses the ball. Harris falls on it. A jump ball called. It stays with New Britain.
Possession to New Britain. And now in the game for Farmington, number 33, EJ.
So again, this will not be our last stream of the year. I call them broadcasts. I guess technically they're video streams. Broadcast goes over the air. A little bit of a lesson. Stat 3 is no good in live sports production. Our last stream of the year here at home will be Tuesday.
Actually, we might have a few more games. I was talking to Coach Cordo, and he said that in the event that the boys or the girls who actually have the home game would lose their first game, that they have a chance at a consolidation game.
Okay.
So depending on what the seeds for those teams are, that's going to determine if they have another home game or not. So we could see maybe 2 or 3 more home games for the girls, and we're not sure about the boys yet.
Christian Harris lays it in, and Farmington is hitting everything. They're running out the gym with this one, 57-31, a 26-point lead for Farmington. And a timeout is called by New Britain, or is this a mask break?
No,
I guess Coach called it. Okay,
yes.
Timeout, New Britain. Want to keep it here or you want to break? I'll leave it up to you. You
We'll keep it here.
You want to give a play-by-play a try? No.
No.
I'm putting you on the spot.
No, I'm good.
No, I mean, it's a blowout at this point, you know.
We got what, 3 minutes left? It's
Yeah,
fine.
I don't know.
It's fine. I'm
Okay,
good.
just trying to get you experience, kid.
No, I'm good where I'm at. I'm watching the LSU game. I'm still keeping track of the score, so I'm doing all right where I am right now.
I don't want to interrupt your March Madness viewing. Yeah, I know. You probably want to prepare a little bit more than that.
No, don't get me wrong, I'll probably get experience in that eventually, but play-by-play is just completely different animal than.
It's fast.
Yeah.
You'll get it in college. I'm telling
Yeah.
you. I told you off the air. Get involved with your if they have a student radio station wherever you end up. And, it's the beautiful thing about college and kind of furthering your education, and you get to kind of step out of your comfort zone, take chances. You'll make mistakes, and that's okay. That's the time to make mistakes. That's the time when the red light goes on, like they say, when you're on the air. There's kind of no thrill like it.
Yeah. Even just these high school games, they've been a thrill, especially those overtime games.
Absolutely.
All the games.
You know what really impresses me? So I went to BU, and WTBU was really great, like a great student radio station. Opportunity to get your feet wet and get on the air. And I'll never forget, I was so nervous as a freshman in college going on the air for the first time. You jump on the headset, you're like, no big deal. You're like an old pro. If you're nervous, you never would have known it.
I mean, I wasn't really, the first time that I did it, I wasn't really nervous just because, obviously it's different than going on air, but, I've had conversations about games and, I've talked about, all the different sports stuff. I've been watching the NBA since I was little.
Right. So
for me to go from NBA to go talk about a high school game, it's not like play-by-play where you have to talk about everything that's going on. You're just giving an assessment about stuff that you see. So, going from the pros to all the advanced stuff they do to kind of, see how high school does it, it's really not as hard as you think it is. I think it's just a matter of whether you're comfortable talking or not, really. That's kind of what it is.
And you are. That's good. Juan Desiderio whistle for the offensive foul.
As you said that, just got a text from an anonymous source saying do the play-by-play.
From anonymous sources say. Well, don't say I didn't offer it.
No, thank you. At this point of the game, just sit back, watch, have a nice conversation.
Yeah, when these games, that is part of broadcasting too, is when the game is out of hand, like in this instance, to be able to still keep going, And that's when it becomes a bit of a talk show.
Yeah, and obviously, especially me going to New Britain, I don't like to see them losing by 26.
Of course not.
But it's just whether you're up 26, down 26, if you're talking about the game, everything just kind of seems a little more chill. You're kind of just, you're sitting back, you're not giving an assessment of everything that's going on. You're kind of just observing and just having a normal conversation.
In that instance, that was a good offensive possession by New Britain. It was good to Chirma to Nolan. Even with the game out of hand, you still can tighten up your game for the postseason. That was a good offensive possession as they worked the ball with a couple of passes on the perimeter to the inside for the contested jump shot. E.J. Sanchez is in the game for Farmington, and the ball ends up in the hands of Desiderio. Up to Nolan for the fast break and the lay-in. Well, finger roll on the fast break. Less than 2 minutes to go. Chirma going for the steal. Jacob Shadler, a senior who also plays football at Farmington, getting some time here, and Ja'Kai Veal, a freshman, getting his feet wet in some varsity time.
Yeah, we were just talking about, other than Tyler on the floor, a bunch of underclassmen for New Britain so far. So in this last minute 40, it's a good experience for them getting some varsity time. I know I loved having that when I was a sophomore playing baseball.
E.J. Sanchez, speaking of baseball, he plays on the Farmington High baseball team. If I'm not mistaken, New Britain and Farmington are going to play in baseball early on in the season, I believe, at Tungus Mead, which is a great ballpark.
Yeah, I think so. I think unless, I'm not sure, I believe there's not a lot of teams in our conference this year. So I think that we're going to play only a few teams home and away. So in their case, I think we're only away for just one game this year. I'm not 100% sure how the schedule goes.
Nick Scully enters the game for Farmington. New Britain on the fast break, a little too fast. Too hot for Jackson Forte to handle. New Britain turns it over. This is always an awkward spot for the team leading by 22 with 1:15 to go. Do you just play keep away? Do you take a shot? I suppose for the guys that are trying to earn some time, they got to take it, and that's what Ja'Kai Veal does. The freshman has a basket. 1 minute to go in the fourth. Good take. The three is good from Jackson Forte with less than a minute to go. Yeah, you get your number called, you got to prove yourself, right?
Definitely. I don't think it's so much keep away, especially if you're a freshman or sophomore. I think it's just trying to get as much time as you can, take a couple jump shots, and then in the last 15, 20 seconds, then you could kind of just dribble it out.
So Farmington is going to finish this regular season 7-4. The layup attempt no good by Nathan Anthony, who's in the game for Farmington. New Britain working it up to Desiderio. Nolan, hop, step, stops and pops off the window for two. 15 seconds to go in this one. And another drive and layup attempt. That's no good from E.J. Sanchez. Nolan outside, Xavier Good for three. X hits a three for the final points of the game. Farmington wins the regular season finale 59-43 over New Britain. With a win, Farmington improves to 7-4. New Britain drops to 5-6 on the regular season. But it's a new season beginning Monday, just 2 days from now. Obviously, never feels good to lose, but New Britain will have to kind of get in the mentality, as will Farmington and everybody, that the regular season is out the window and everybody's 0-0 starting next week.
Yeah, and I was just going to say that once you hit the postseason, your regular season record doesn't matter. You're going into the season 0-0, and it's win or go home in that situation. So you always want to put your best foot forward, and especially for Farmington, this was a good game going for them into the tournament. Going off of a win, it's a little bit of a momentum.
Well, we will have the stream of the girls' basketball postseason game Tuesday at 5:30 when the Golden Hurricanes host the Ram Raptors. And the boys' basketball team will find out where they're headed sometime tonight. That's when they will settle all the brackets for the postseason in boys' basketball.
And real quick, back to your thing about baseball, I think we play Farmington the first game of the year.
Okay.
Play them at Farmington.
And there's a chance that New Britain and Farmington could play in boys basketball again. So could be a whole lot of Farmington and New Britain. The battle of Fenneman Road and Farmington Ave. That's where I grew up.
Found one.
I found one finally. We hope you'll join us on Tuesday.
I was going to go with the downtown pizza place. It's really the only place I remember around Farmington.
You would. I know you would.
Yep.
Come from a family that knows it's good pizza.
Absolutely.
All right, that'll do it this afternoon from Chick-Shea Gymnasium. Again, thanks to everybody who's made the streams possible this year. We named them earlier. Let's go enjoy our Saturday. And good luck with baseball around the corner, and perhaps you and I will be on the air Tuesday.